Okay. Well, I'm Samantha from Pop Horror. It's so nice to meet you, Sean. I love the
Yeah, nice
movie.
to meet you. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
So to start, I feel like there's so many kind of like corporate office movies that are comedies, like Office Space, that kind of thing. What about that world makes for the perfect thriller?
I think it's because it's relatable,
Mhm.
right? I think that while I think comedy and horror or thriller, I think they kind of exist on like the same spectrum, right? And just at different ends of it. So I think the same things. I think it's something we spend a lot of our lives in workplaces, and we have our dreams come true there. We have our nightmares play out in ways that we can't even imagine would happen in those places. So I think anywhere life happens is where good stories can happen.
Sure. And I loved all the little nods to like corporate culture when he got the pin. It reminds me of like, oh my God, you did such a good job. Like, here's a pizza party or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's funny. There was a version of the script at one point where we had like dozens of those coming in, and then we realized we went way overboard. But yeah, it is definitely is the corporate pizza party.
Sure. So now it's very much it takes place in the one set with the one actor who was amazing, by the way. Does that make your job easier or harder to kind of have less moving pieces on the set?
In our case, I think Rel was so fantastic that it made our job a lot easier. We had to, I mean, everybody across the board, our team really did something incredible. I think in terms of the set design, I think in terms of the way it was shot, I think all those things that the world was built and created and was real, and Rel brought a reality to the performance. And all we had to do was capture it. Honestly, once we built the world, it was like making a documentary.
Mhm. Right. And can you talk about the mill itself? Like, is there any like deeper meaning to that?
I mean, I think not to quote the movie, but like the meaning is there is no meaning. I
Sure.
think that's what it is to me. And I think there are people who have professions or vocations or things they do where they feel they're getting something from it and they're giving value to the world. And then I think just the way that our society is and the way that corporate structures are, there are people who feel like what they're doing has no meaning.
Mhm.
And that's a really terrifying way to spend the bulk of your life, to spend 8 hours a day, 8 of your waking hours a day doing something that you feel doesn't have any meaning. Like that's genuine horror.
With that kind of false hope that something you're going to get something out of it, but
Yeah, but the system's just going to keep taking from you and taking from you and taking from you, and you're never going to get that payout.
right, right. Now, can you talk a bit, I guess, without giving it away, the decision of ending the movie the way that it is? It's very abrupt, and we have some closure, but not a lot of closure.
Yeah, so to me, I think that how do I do this without spoiling the
Sure.
ending? Um, I wanted to give the movie the feeling of a real mic drop ending and sort of put a period on it, but it's the end of the sentence. It's not the end of the paragraph or the novel. Does that answer the question without answering it? Without
Yes.
giving anything away?
Yeah. And then just in general, Sean, can you talk about just how you got involved in this project and what made you want to be involved?
Yeah, this is a really rare thing. It never happens this way, but I was looking for a specific type of project, and I was talking to my producing partner, Josh Feldman. I said, I want a dystopian science fiction thriller. I wanted it to be contained. I wanted to touch on technology. I wanted to look at these things. And he said, "You're not going to believe this. I have a script that does all of those things." And so he sent me Jeff's script, and I read it and didn't sleep that night and just knew that I had to make this movie. It hit me on a way that it hit me really emotionally. It had touched on a lot of themes that I'd been wanting to tackle for a long time, but hadn't found the right material for it. And it did it in a really cinematic and fun way that I'd never seen done before.
And then I guess to wrap up, was there any just message that you hope people get out of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, I hope people have fun first and foremost. I hope it's the fun thriller they can enjoy. But if they're going to take something away from it, I think it's to examine the systems and relationships in your own life and say, am I giving more to this than I'm getting out of it. And obviously, it's not that simple, right? There are certain circumstances where we need to stay in those situations. We need to pay the bills, we have responsibilities, whatever it might be. But I think if we can examine all the systems and relationships in our lives and look at those that are maybe broken and start to think about them in a different way and start to see if there maybe is a way to either break those systems or break ourselves out of those systems, that's what I would want people to do. So just examine and look for ways to make your life better.
Sure. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.